Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Decaf N Devos. I'm your host, Adure, and today we have such a sweet and special friend on the podcast. You guys are going to get to know her very well. But before I even go any further, my little sister, my best friend, everyone welcome Miss Mercy Matthews, which, by the way, is an engaged girlie. So your new last name is going to be
MONCRIEF, actually.
Oh my god!
I wish I could keep the M.
I was going to say that's true. So you'll still have the double M.
Don't change.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. We're super grateful to have her on. But before we get going, you guys already know what time it is. It's time to put the phone on DND. She's on there. Let's go. Okay, Queen. You and I have been friends for a minute now. Maybe not that long in comparison to the years we've been alive, but long.
It feels like it's been a long time.
It feels like it's been a long time.
I feel like I've known you like my whole at least like adulthood, I guess.
No, truly. So let's take them back. How did we meet? What were your first impressions of me?
I was gonna say, do you remember?
I
that?
do.
Okay,
I do.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing actually, but
why was it embarrassing? I thought it was so sweet.
I was just young and didn't know what was going on in life.
Oh my gosh.
So we met at Passion.
It
was my first day there.
I remember.
First day. I was all by myself.
I was gonna say you were so brave for showing up alone.
I just needed to meet someone. It was a dark time. Let's say that. And I needed a friend. I needed someone. And I remember I talked to this one guy by the stairs. I literally to this day don't know who this man was, but an angel sent from the Lord. He was like, you need to go upstairs and there's a girl at a stand and she has a small group. Because I said to him, I was like, are there any small groups or someone that I need to talk to?
Hey, I did not know this.
Yeah. And he was like, yes, I will literally take you to her. So he walks up the stairs with me. I still don't know who this man was.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He walks up the stairs with me. And he takes me directly to you, and you were doing check-in for something.
Yeah, welcome to church.
Yeah, and so I just introduced myself. I was kind of nervous. I was like, hi, I need a friend.
Wait, yeah. I do remember that, and I remember you. Didn't I see you in the auditorium at some point? Because I remember loving your outfit.
That was Talisa.
No? Oh, was that Talisa? Oh, that was Talisa. Because I commented on her outfit. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. But I do remember seeing you at Welcome to Church, but I remember thinking I'd already met you.
Yeah.
At some point.
I kind of felt like I already had too, but I think that was the first interaction.
Okay, yeah. And I remember you sitting there.
Yeah, and then you invited me to your small group.
Yes.
Which, you know how sometimes people will give you their number and they're like, come, and then they never text you or something, or they don't actually mean it. It was not that case with you at all. You were like, please come. Please come and join.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I honestly wasn't sure you were going to, so I was so happy you did.
No,
because a lot of times you invite people and they don't go.
Yeah.
Wait, I was just talking about you last night at dinner with Camila because she was talking about how she used to be in Kellen's small group. Shout out to Kellen.
Okay.
And I had no idea. Kellen and Emily Buchanan.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, I had no idea. And she was like, yeah, me and Kellen just really hit it off and we're still best friends. And I was like, wait, you know who that reminds me of? Mercy.
You were more role model to me when I first met you. Big sister energy, which you always have been. But it was more mentor
I see
friendship. And then we both kind of parted ways from small group. And then it was major big sister.
Oh my gosh,
bestie,
yes.
But I think it's been a beautiful way that it's kind of transitioned.
Yeah. Wait, I don't even remember. Do you remember the first time that we hung out after?
I don't.
After small group ended.
No,
how did that?
I don't even know.
Because my next memory is us going to Florida together.
That's hilarious, actually.
And I don't know
Went to see my grandma.
Oh yeah. Hope she's doing well. Anyway, okay. Anyway, that's the backstory about how we met. A long backstory.
Yeah.
But it truly has felt like I've had you as a friend forever, which is so sweet. Yeah. Okay, so this whole season is about how to be a holy friend. So maybe give us a quick little overview. How have your friendships panned out so far? Have they been positive? For the most part, positive? Have they been most part negative? What do you feel like you've learned in your friendships? Give us a quick little overview.
I know. Friendships have been interesting for me, I think, because I've moved a lot in my life, which, that about me. I've seen a lot of friendships come and go. And I think Atlanta actually has been the first place that I've been for longer than a year. besides where I grew up. And the friends that I have here, I know like are my long-term people. But before that, like I literally, like I had friends and I had people that like said they were in my corner, and then it's interesting how when you move and someone's not right in front of your face, they no longer think about you.
Totally.
Or like, and that is no shade whatsoever.
No,
I think
totally.
it's just how life happens, sort of.
Totally.
And I myself am like, that happens to me too when I don't see someone in front of me or they're long distance.
Totally.
It's like,
takes more energy.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And it takes a lot to make a friendship like that keep flourishing. But
totally.
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of like ebbs and flows. I think when I actually reached my 20s, that's when I moved here and I really started to like feel like myself and feel like the people around me were actually contributing and like building me up in that way. So yeah.
I do want to say, which I should have said this in the beginning, but when I met you, I was also in a very, as you know, in a very, very rocky season of my life. And I was just surrounded by a lot of people that were it was just like a lot of proximity friends. Like we're friends because I see you every week.
Exactly. Yeah.
You were someone that you just felt different. Like you felt like so genuine and so authentic and kind. Like we talked about your name. Like that's so fitting for you for a reason. So anyway, I just like want to say you were as much as this friendship maybe has blessed you, this has like been such a big blessing for me. And I remember back in those days, like I was clinging to you and I was clinging to Talisa because I just like did not have a lot of genuine friends at that time. So
I still hold it very dear that you're my first friend that I ever met in
Atlanta.
Like, I mean, you're my first like best friend, you know, like situation.
The amount of times that you'd come visit me or I'd come visit you at work, that's sweet.
Yep.
The
coffee shop.
I was going to say, I remember when you used to work at Rev. Yeah, shout out to Rev.
Yep.
Okay, so we're talking a lot about holy friendships this season. So what's maybe something in your mind that you think would differentiate a good friend from a holy friend?
That's a great question. This is actually something we've already talked about. Oh. But I think in my mind, what differentiates the two is someone who is willing to call you higher.
So good.
And we had talked about this because of a situation I had and with a friend that was like a very dear friend. And you literally said to me, you're like, Mercy, oh gosh, like Mercy, you need to be bold and you need to call her out in a loving way. Like call her out in the way that the Lord asks us to. And that was a really hard thing for me. I do not do well with confrontation. I am a people pleaser and I was like, I can't do this. I'm going to like lose this friendship. I'm going to lose this person. And I was terrified. And you were like, no, you got to do this. And I was like, okay. So I did it. I like was bold and I called that person higher. And I think also something that you said that stuck out to me was you said, how could someone be better if they don't know? Like if they're not aware of the issue or where they're falling short, how can they be better?
So true.
And I think it's like really true. And I would like ask that of people that know me too. Like I would hope they would call me to a higher place in that way. And it all like was beautiful how it panned out too, because I was afraid of losing a friendship and honestly it just made it deeper. And then I was like, all right, okay. So you called me to a higher place and then I called her to a higher place and it was just like a beautiful unfolding. So yeah.
Sorry, I'm not going to cry.
No,
I don't know why that's making me emotional, but I really feel like God is so glorified in moments like that.
Yeah.
Because I think too, like, I think I can understand why there was so much hesitation in the midst of it, because you feel like bringing something up is maybe going to like cause ripples into a friendship. Sure. So I get it. And I hope it didn't come off as like me brushing off.
No, it did not at all. It was like big sister energy that I needed.
Okay, love.
That I like really need.
Love.
Because I very easily will brush things under the rug, but that kind of thing when it builds up is like can just destroy the inside. And I did not want to get to that place and I wasn't there yet, but I was struggling and you really heard me and you were like, no, like you need to do this and you will feel better. And I did and it all worked out. So yeah.
Well, I think our culture has made confrontation such a like like I said in the last episode, you're the problem. So like I need you to understand that you hurt me, as opposed to like coming into the conversation with humility and saying like, listen, I love you as my friend and I'm assuming the best of you. I'm assuming that you don't want to hurt me. However, this is how I feel and I want to reconcile that. Definitely. So I think it really is so beautiful to be on the other end of that and realize like, man, you must really love me to tell me what is wrong. Yeah. Because a lot of times, let's be honest, if your friend is not coming to you telling you what you did wrong, they're probably in their mind already like letting the friendship go. Like, or at least that's kind of how I am. It's like, it's not worth bringing up if I know this isn't a friend I want to keep around. So yeah, I think that's something I've learned too, that when my friends call me out on things, it's like they want to keep the friendship going and they're trying. So
I think it takes a lot of humility to be the person that's receiving it too and to take it well.
Totally.
Like I know that could be really hard to hear and I have heard it from people before and it like takes you back a minute. You're like, whoa. Yeah. And then when you actually process it, like how you respond is so important, I think, in how you're showing love to that person.
Totally. Well, it's like your friends are your mirrors. Like you can't really see yourself the way other people do. So it's so helpful for other people to call out like your weak spots that you can't see. Yeah. So, and I bring this book up all the time, but I'm reading this book called The Bait of Satan by John Bevere. Okay. I love this. Listen, Mercy.
Put me on it after
Hear me. You have to read this book. It's so good. It's about like keeping your heart like away from being offended.
Oh, that's good.
So powerful. But he talks in the book about how there's two types of people. There are the people that were actually wronged, and then there are people that believe that they were wronged. Whoa. So it's like a perspective thing. And so when people are coming to you and telling you, hey, you really hurt my feelings, sometimes it can be that is just your perspective. That's not actually what happened.
That's actually so good.
Right? And so that's something I've like tried to learn. Like, how do you deal with like, hey, I want to acknowledge your feelings, but I also want to make sure we tell the truth of like what's happening. Because there is a delusion here. So you just kind of have to navigate that. But I think you navigate your friendship so well, especially in that situation.
I try. I try. Every day is like another day to try and do better. But yeah.
Let me tell you, I get it. How have your friendships brought you closer to the Lord? Whether they've been good experiences or bad experiences, like how? Maybe tell us a situation that it's pushed you closer.
Well, first of all, you were kind of saying how your friends are like your mirror. I think in a lot of my friendships, I see different characteristics of the Lord that like really stick out. Like I think kind of a lot of them have their own characteristic that they really like shine in. And I think that's kind of made me at the same time look inward and like ask, what am I shining, or like what am I showing? And if I'm not showing anything, there's an issue there.
Right.
And I think it's kind of pushed me to be figuring out like who I'm showing of the Lord, like what characteristic am I shining for the people around me, whether they're friends or Christians or non-Christians, just the community around me. But I also would say, because I've had a lot of ebbs and flows in relationships, I've also had to learn that ultimately Jesus is the friend that we actually need. And I've had a lot of seasons of not having people actually there for you or step in when you need them.
Totally.
And realizing that really at the end of the day, it's Jesus that is the friend that you need. But yeah.
Speaking of friends and Jesus, what are some traits? You spoke about characteristics. Like, what are some traits that you're looking for when it comes to like, okay, this is definitely a holy friend I want to hold on to, as opposed to like, maybe not?
I think kindness is a big one that I have always gravitated towards, but also something that I like want to always be showing. Patience is a big one. I work with kids a lot, so that's like something you have to have, but also I think it's such a beautiful representation of Jesus. Trying to think what else. I think also just joy is a big one that like I see in you, and I see that in Talisa a lot.
I love,
and there's just a lot of people in this world that are just unhappy, like not people you want to be around all the time.
So true.
You can really see when someone actually truly has joy,
and
where it's coming from too.
Absolutely. I think too, I saw this quote one time that said like, your best friend is your best friend because they bring out the best in you. Okay, last question I want to ask you. is a piece of advice that you want to tell the audience about how they can walk away trying to be a holy friend?
I think I would say not holding grudges is a big thing.
So good.
I was reading this verse, I think it's in 1 Corinthians, where it says, it's the whole like love is patient, love is kind.
Oh, yeah,
but in
yeah.
that it says, love is not easily angered, and it does not
keep no record of wrongs.
Yes,
Beautiful.
yes, keep no record of wrongs.
Yeah.
And I think that's such an easy thing to do. I think in this day and age, a lot of people, how do I say this? A lot of people want to find the one thing that you did wrong and hold it against you and hold that over your head.
Right.
And I think that's something that really can keep you from actually having a deep relationship with someone, is when you're so focused on the wrong things and the things that are like sticking out like a sore thumb to you. But yeah, I would just say keep no record of wrongs. I think that's such a thing that Jesus really wants from us and asks of us, and he himself.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I think too, first of all, beautiful. 1 Corinthians 13, beautiful. Love that scripture. I think
one of my favorites.
Same. It should be everyone's, really. But I think, you know how they say that like you should replace the word love with your name and see if you are that, and that should be like something that you should work toward if you're not. I think it's the same with the fruit of the Spirit. Like you should try and figure out like which fruit are you lacking, because if you have the Holy Spirit, like you have him in the entirety of it. Like you shouldn't have the joy but then not have the self-control, you know, because that's not how the Holy Spirit works. So I agree. I think that's beautiful, and I don't feel like you do that. Just to like also speak some life into you. You truly do like walk so beautifully with the Lord. Like it's so evident that your relationship is so real with him and your friends. It's just so evident in your life. So thank you for being my friend.
Props to all the people that I have in my life. I feel like I have such a like strong core group of people that really just
lift you up. Yeah. I love you. Thank you for coming on the pod.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully we'll be a regular. But
I hope so.
Okay, yeah.
We can come to Leesburg. Too far away.
Yeah, we'll do road trips. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.